All right, everybody. All right, I'm so happy that you guys are here. Kind of our first live show here. It's taken a while, but guess what? Now we're here, and you can call me a queer. Anything else that rhymes. Hey, Siobhan. I got Siobhan in the house. All right, guys. Hey, first of all, if you didn't get my rambling yesterday, um, by the way, we're waiting for Miss Angel Cassidy, who's going to be a great guest. And she has her notifications silenced, but I don't see her in here. So I guess we're just going to have to wait. But I got a lot of stuff to tell you, anyways. I want to thank you guys. If you didn't know, you guys got me to be a creator, a YouTube creator. So what that means is now I can do what I want to do, and I can show you all the silly videos. What's that background? I'll talk about it later, but that's a cute kid. I'm talking about the young lady. Um, yeah. So much going on. You guys got me with the hours, and you got me with the subscribers. So I'm here with you now. So I can do the things I want to do with the show. I got all these videos I want to show you. So now we're in business. This is really our first show. So I got the ability to monetize. Look at this. Jules David is going to be my first super chat. Jules David, $10. Casey, congrats. Thank you so much. And you have been there from the start. And I thank you so much. That is so kind of you to do that. It took us a while to get there, but we're here now. How about that? Wow. I'm pretty excited. The best thing is that I can actually do a real show for you. I don't have to worry about, oh, if I play Bob's ass eating, that I'm going to get in trouble and they're going to take me off. I don't think they can take me off now. I just abide by the rules and I can put on like a real show. I have so many different tapes and videos I want to show you guys. There's some funny stuff I got to show you. I mean, I got like behind the scenes, like we went Levy on the Murderer's Row. It was Levy, it was Florentine, it was Demo, Big Jimmy Graham, Sexton, and myself, the Murderer's Row. We went around, we toured. So I took the camera everywhere. And I got such great stuff. I got Sexton taking a dump the size, those ice things that you fill up with ice. This dump, this log, poked its head out of this thing. It was so impressive. So I want to thank all you guys for real. And I was trying to do that last night. I was trying to say that because it happened Sunday night. And I was trying to say, but then I did all the things that you have to do as far as like tax and all that stuff. So I did all that. But halfway through the show, I start to think about John, and I went off on him big time because I said I was going to stop. I said I was going to leave him alone, but then I put it all together. And like I said, I'm always the last person to get the joke. I didn't know that everything was perfect. Everybody was so nice to me, and all these people were so kind. And then all of a sudden, I do the final stut, meaning my last John show, and I get all of these horrible comments, only to do with John, not about me. I mean, you could say I suck, and that could be anybody. That's fine. But specific stuff. And then I look up because you can find out who these people are. And I look up, they're all him. Not only did I say something so kind and something that no one else would say, I said, guys, take a look at John in a different way. I went and I played golf with him one-on-one. He invited me into his home. Give him another chance. Don't think that these things were him. Instead of taking that and saying, "All right, that's nice. Maybe we both said some things. Maybe let's leave it alone." He took that opportunity to troll and to create other accounts and to send me a bunch of BS. Oh, look at this! I got a Jules David. Look at that, $8. Thank you. Don't forget, you still owe me money from the Gonzaga bet. That is true. Yeah, I did. I did pick the wrong team on that, but I got a good one for tonight. Should I not say it? I don't want to jinx it. I'm just going to say the Reds look good. The Yankees and Mets both look horrible. Colorado looks pretty good. And if you play down there at that horrible, horrible city of San Francisco, nothing about the people in San Francisco, but I've been there. I've been to the South Bronx. I've spent time in Compton. I've spent time in Anaheim. The worst places here on the island. What's the worst? Wyandanch, Gordon Heights, Coram. I used to live in Coram. Horrible place. Nothing will brace you for the horrible, crime-ridden, dangerous, taking your life in your hands city of San Francisco these days. Everyone's got homeless people, and I was one of them, so I know. But these aren't your regular homeless people. These are homeless people with an attitude. These are homeless people with a vendetta. If you don't give them money, they're going to get it. They're aggressive. No is not an option. As soon as you get out of a cab, they're up on you. I swear, it's like they're playing tight man coverage. As soon as you get out, door opens, they're on you, and you got to like head fake and get out of it. Where is Angel? Hey everybody, I'm glad you guys are here. We got a great show. I got Angel Cassidy coming up, and she's not signed in yet, so let's see. Yeah, I was right before I was trying to call her, but I guess she had turned it off for the interview. But please leave your message. Come on now. All right. I guess I just got to wait. I sent the thing over. So let's see. Jennifer Coburn. That's not my neighbor. Jennifer Coburn, $9.99. What's up, Casey? My old PJ neighbor. Congrats, bro. Thank you, Jennifer. That is my old neighbor. Wow. Now she's an adult. Wow. Jennifer Coburn, thank you so much. Lots of memories. Used to when I grew up in Port Jeff, up not too far from here. Across the street was this young lady, Jennifer, and we had some funny times. She was younger, so she was like a little sister that got picked on by me and my brother. We were jerks, but nice to see you, Jennifer. Let's see. Gino Bean is here, and G Canada's here. Awesome. Glad you guys are here. I'm waiting for my guests to come in, but I still have a lot to tell you. Tomorrow will be an episode of Casey and the Coach. You know, Coach Darian Sneed. Everyone seems to love him as much as I do. He'll tell you how it is. If you don't like what he has to say, he'll say it anyway. That's just what he does. Thursday will be Bob Levy. Bob Levy will be coming on. I'm not sure if I'm going to. See, I have about 3 or 4 clips that are already edited and they're already blurred out. They put the blurry stuff on the face and on the ass. So I don't want to get in trouble. But I already got like 3 or 4 clips from his closing bit. You guys know what I'm talking about. Where a certain young lady from whatever city comes up on stage and he happens to enjoy blue cheese, and for some reason these young ladies, and most of them are beautiful, they volunteer for him. Let's just say if it's a buffet, the rear end is the main dish with blue cheese on it. Did I say that nicely? Don't ask me. I don't get it. It's silly. It's nonsense. But I got a 3 or 4 behind the scenes, and I wanted to do like John Madden, like, drawing arrows and, having to get through a defense, or how did he get it? How did he prepare for this session of the blue cheese closing bit? So that's Thursday. That's Bob Levy. Friday, I thought I had to go to Pottstown on Friday, but it turns out it's only on Saturday. So we might luck out and we might get AJ Benza in on Friday. So we'll talk to him. AJ Ben's a great guy. You guys probably like him because he slapped Stuttering John. You know what it is I like any man that says he's going to do something and does it. He said it straight up. He goes, John, put in one more call, and that's what he's doing because that John worked the phones. That's what he did. What do you think? He was back there producing a bit or something? No, he was answering the phone. And if you ask him, that was his way of producing. His way of producing was whoever called in, he got to decide he got a big power trip. I'll put you through, or I'll put you on hold. I'll never forget what he said to Shuley. Shuley was just goofing around doing something after Shuley totally helped him out. Like John used to do this stupid show where he would just use other comics, like real comics, that he would get from the show. And like I told you, he had nothing to do with booking anybody on the show or anything, and he didn't even have access to the schedule. We had to print it out and say, hey, this is what we got going on today at 7:30. There's going to be a call, so look for this call at 7:30, or Ben Stiller will be in at 8:30, blah, 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 and Nick DiPaolo is going to sit in for the news. So he would just wait. He would wait for his time to see how well they did and see if the audience, to see if they could make him some money. And then he would bother them saying, hey, you want to come on the Stuttering John and Friends tour? And, pay them an insulting amount, and he would take most of the money. It's just so insulting. Ask any comic. It's just disgusting. So what would happen is he would start the show out with a videotape, which if Howard found out about that, he would be up in arms. He would go nuts because it was John, a highlight of him doing interviews from Howard's TV show. Like a big celebrity, you're waiting for this guy to come on, but you got to watch a video first. So offensive and insulting. So he put on like a 15-minute video of him stealing Howard's material that John and Jackie wrote for him. And don't get me wrong, it was before I got hired and I was just a fan, it was one of my favorite parts of the show. It was awesome. John's got balls, He'll get up there and then he'll stutter, and it was just a perfect storm. It was great. He did a great job. But he didn't create any of that. There was nothing about any of it. That was him given a piece of paper. And when people came by, he would have what's called generic questions. That's for anybody in case he didn't know who the person was, or we weren't tipped off to see who was going to be coming. So say it was Catherine Zeta-Jones. We're expecting Catherine Zeta-Jones to come. And all of a sudden, Jon Stewart shows up. So he just picked off the generic paper. And that would be like, do you think OJ is guilty or innocent? Those are just generic questions that you could ask anybody, not written specifically for Catherine Zeta-Jones. That's showing my age right there. She's still around. Didn't she marry the guy with the as Dice says the asshole cancer? I think I got the right person. Anyway, oh look at this. Okay, it comes in another um, color. Obnoxious John, my friend, $5. Thank you. Finally monetized. Congratulations. Thank you. And Obnoxious John, you are very helpful. You helped me understand this, and I'm still learning. So I want to thank you very, very much. And thank you very much. And so Siobhan has something to say, Siobhan here. The one thing John created himself, he messed it up. The audition prank on Grillo. And Howard dressed him down saying, your boys can only work it if we write. Yeah, Siobhan, 100%. This is where he was so oblivious and obnoxious, John. Thank you very much for all your help and for, I guess they call that a super chat. Thank you. Siobhan, you're right. There was a system. John would leave after the show. He would split right after he was done answering the calls. And then his other job was to do the mail. So he'd have an intern read him the first 2 lines of the letter. And he'd say, okay, that's a fan that goes in there. Or that's solicitation that goes in there. So after that 5 minutes was over, he'd split. Didn't know that the people producing the show, the Will Murrays, the Benjis, of course, the Gary, the Jasons, the interns would help with everything. Myself, so many different people. I'm sorry if I'm leaving people out here. I'm talking about when the show's over afterwards, you know. Yeah, there's a way to do this. And he never understood because he was never around and never gave a shit to show up or to learn how the system was. System was you don't just go and plan a bit and go do it and take up the E channel's time. Everything has to be approved. Howard has to approve everything. Everything from a sound effect down to a bit. So John just thought he was so special and entitled that he could go pull a prank because he had nothing to do. But everyone else had things to do. There's a system, and it starts on Lotus Notes. You have an idea. I have an idea. Let's let's spin a wheel and ask trivia questions. And if the person gets it wrong, they either get burped or farted on in the face. Simple example. We actually did that. Silly game, right? So first, you don't just plan that. It goes on Lotus Notes, and everything gets sent where Howard can read everything. So Howard reads it, and if he likes it, he goes, burp or fart game. Okay, I like this. Gary, Casey, see me. Bring up in the meeting. Okay, that's how it starts. So now you go into the meeting, and we have the things that he wants to bring up. Howard, there was talk of doing this burp or fart game. And Howard go, okay, yeah, that was interesting. Who do you think we should play it with? How do you see it going? And then the writers, Fred and Jackie, and everyone, the E guys were very helpful. Everybody around that was invested in the show. Sometimes the interns would give their 2 cents, you know, but mostly it would be like, hey, how do you see this going? Jackie, Fred, can you write some lines up and, we'll see how it can go. And that's the go. If he approves it, then me and Gary, Gary says, I'll take this one, or Case, you take this one. Gary's in charge. He was my boss. So to produce it, it went to me or Gary. Gary made that decision. Howard said, get it done. That means Gary will get it done. Either he's going to do it or he's going to say, oh, don't you have hookup with ACN? Or it's going to need a song parody. It's going to need intros, outros. I'll take the intros. You get the guests, and then the E show would get with me and Gary and say, okay, we're going to get Most of the time they wouldn't even do that. They would say, "Okay, we're going to get the wheel. We just need the things that are going to be put on the wheel." Okay, Howard say, "Fred and Jackie, need you guys to put up questions and blah blah blah." See, you see, there was a whole. This was a real show. I mean, it was. It everyone was working together. No one just came in and said, "I'm going to do a prank," unless you thought that you somehow were more special than everyone else. And if Howard ever got a whiff of that, then then you got in trouble. The only way you'd get out of it, and same way with athletics as a coach, like say you're on the goal line and you're going to run a simple 22 dive, which is just the fullback, you know, straight handoff, right? But yet you see the defense, you see your receiver is a lot more athletic and he's out wide one-on-one with a shorter defensive back who is getting lit up all game. So you switch over, you call an audible, you call red 99, red 99. And that means that the play that was called in the huddle is not the play. That means we're going to throw it to this guy one-on-one out there. We're going to throw him a fade route. If you make the wrong decision, you get your ass reamed by the coach. But if it works, you're a hero. John wasn't as thought out as that. And I don't recall ever him hitting something out of the park that went against all the rules or whatever. But he didn't have. See, he wouldn't even know how to call the audible. He wouldn't know how to make the stinger. He wouldn't know how to make the intro or get in touch with the music to make the bed, to make the sound effects, to have Paul Turner, the deep voice announcer guy. And now, welcome to the Burp or Fart game. You know what I'm saying? Like he wouldn't know how to. That's called producing. That's called producing a segment. So I remember one of the things that made me nuts about John was that he'd sit there and someone would say something. This was his idea of writing, by the way. How did this show turn into John? Well, I'm waiting for my guests to come here. I figure you guys like hearing this. Do you guys like hearing this crap? Let's see. We got Pel L, $10. Thank you very much. I can never poop at work when other people are there. When I'd go and there was someone in there, I'd call an audible and pretend I'm peeing. So you need the home field advantage, Pal L. All right. Thank you for the money. But the thing that I'm trying to get at here is producing is not putting a phone call through and hoping it works out. Producing takes a lot, and that's why we all had a job. That's why we didn't leave after the show. Sometimes after the show, I leave for a couple hours. Thank God I lived close, and I come back and stay till 6 or 7 at night because Gary lives in Connecticut. He'd leave. Sorry, guys. He'd leave around like 3 or something like that. And then it kind of worked out because then I would be there after he was gone. So if he needed something, see how a bit was going, I would be there. So me and Gary worked very well, and I thought he was awesome. But John has no idea how to produce a show. Yeah, so I don't know how we got on that tangent. I don't know where my guest is, but so going back to the schedule, we got I think AJ will be coming on Friday, and wonder what. See, Angel Cassidy is going to be a great guest because she started life out where she rescued people from a burning car as a kid. I mean, what kid has that amount of bravery and thoughtfulness? It's unbelievable. And then later she got involved in the adult industry, and we'll well, I'll have a lot of questions about that. But then became a very successful entrepreneur and actress. So excited to get her um, her story. Man, I think it's because my I adopted a new cat. Uh, Jesus, what the fuck? Um, Easy Cartman, Casey, do you still talk to Marianne Garvey? I always loved Marianne. She was an intern, and then she went to write for the New York Post, I believe. Was real good friends with Benji, and I talked to Benji the other day. Benji's a good guy. I don't know. You guys dig him, right? Well, Benji's another great guy. So yeah, I'm going to bring you guys now that I'm set up here, and you're not. I'm not going anywhere, so um, you're not going to get rid of me. So Jim Florentine coming. Um, I'm going to look for all the people that you want me to. I'm going to look for Crazy Alice for a couple months. I'm going to start there. My goal is to, for the first couple months of this channel, I want to go back and not relive it, but kind of do like a where are they now, and kind of celebrate the times that we had with some of these high pitch call me. He wants to come on. So we'll get the high pitches. We'll get the crazy Alice's. I talked to Tim Sabian. Uh, he'll come on. You know, all your favorites from the Stern Show, the Dabbleverse, all these people. That will be for that will take me a couple months to get through. And say there's five shows a week, and it will be from eight. It'll be 8 or 9 o'clock. 2 or 3 of them for the next couple months will be about the Stern Show. Wednesdays will be Casey and the Coach, and then one day uh, we'll either be doing uh, a memory of this a particular Stern Show, and I can comment on it if I was there, and that will be one of the days Casey and the Coach, and then one of those days will be about the 70 videos that I have that are just funny, and I want to show them to you. A lot of it is nonsense. A lot of it is childish, like the farting preacher, stuff like that. You know. Um, so one day will be complete nonsense. One day will be Casey and the Coach. That's on Wednesday, and then the other 3 days will be Stern Show stuff until you and I both get bored of it. But judging by what you guys say and what I hear from you guys, you want me to bring that to you, and you want to know what it was like because I was there, you know? So, as much as I never wanted to do any of that because I thought it was like living in the past, and those days are over. Like even in the 2 books that I wrote and the radio station that I have, none of it has to do with Howard. I, I was just going through in the 2 books that I wrote. Howard is mentioned once, and it says, "Thank you, Howard, for giving me the opportunity. I think nothing but the best. You're awesome." You know, and I do feel that way. Um, so I wasn't the person. I never reached out to promote anything on there after. I think it was his 50th birthday. Is that the one in the city? After that, I never reached out to them other than just being friendly or saying hello. I never asked them for anything. After that, I made a choice. I said, "Look, you got to leave that behind and move on." But now we're forgetting that was the best and most popular and biggest radio show in the history of the world. Make it sound like a it's like the it was like a AD or something, AS. No, I mean it was a real important thing, and to hear from someone who was there, that's okay. That's not living in the past. That's me giving you some info, and we'll keep doing it until you guys don't want me to do it anymore. And then I'll switch over from the 1 day a week of nonsense to make it complete nonsense 4 days, and then 1 week, 1 day will be Casey and the coach because that guy is radio gold. Coach Darian Sneed is. Hey, Ryan Sherman. People never cease to amaze. I guess. Let's go to a blue one. So I got to click on blue. Voltaire 325 199 was the Walmart Walmart she thing real. My cat's got in a fight today because I got this new calico cat, Naya. So when I'm trying to do work today, in and out, I had to break up about 50 fights, so my voice is gone. Usually it's gone by like after an hour of being on the air. I had a couple interviews today too, so that didn't help. But I was yelling at the cats. I told them, no fighting. We're not doing that. But they don't listen to me. They fight anyway. But good question. Voltaire. Yes, unfortunately, it was real. I remember exactly what happened. I was in Ketchikan, Alaska, and I get out of jail 10 days in a room no bigger than your bathroom. I'm withdrawn from prescription drugs, alcohol back then, and scariest time in my life. It was hell. Nobody knew where I was. It rained every day, so half the time the phone lines were out. But the time that they would let you use they would bring the phone over. Do you know anyone's phone anymore? Does anyone have a landline that you know? Does anyone that you know accept a collect call? No. So I was up there. I couldn't get a hold of anybody. And you don't get to come out of your cell to make the phone call. They give me the number and I'll dial it, and they stick the phone through where they put your food. I didn't know any of them. I didn't know any number. They don't let you have cell phones in jail. It was scary, man. So they never even told me like how bail worked and stuff like that. Oh, it was such a mess. But getting back to your question, the day I get out, I go to Walmart and I see what I thought was this Asian woman who was probably about like 5'10" and um, looked friendly or whatever. So I said, I said, excuse me, I'm from out of town. I was wondering if you would like to go grab a drink with me or something like that. So cheesy. It's so gross. But I had to stay because I had a court date in like 4 days. So I couldn't just leave. They wouldn't, the city was so small that they'd catch you right at the airport. And if you were trying to skip town, you're going right back there. And that was petrifying me. So I had to stick around. Darian was bigger than you, Casey. Yeah, he was. Yeah, yeah. Coach was a badass. So I asked her, and she's like, "Yeah, okay." I should have known there was just something up. Something just didn't fit the picture. You know, I mean, the way people would look at her, and um, I just got fooled. I wasn't looking to do anything dirty or to, you know, to be a dirtbag or anything. I was bored. I was kind of just looking for someone um, to make friends with, and just not sit in this hotel waiting to go to court so I could go home. And that's why when she decided to come over, we met and we were going to go eat. And I bought a thing of Scrabble. I like to play Scrabble. I thought maybe my new friend would want to play Scrabble with me. So that's, that's how innocent it was. But as always, you got a man and a woman together. You're in Alaska. Um, yeah, I mean, we'll make a part two of this sometime. But yes, I did make out with a guy, and I knew, I knew something was wrong. If you've ever kissed a man, eh, it's not the soft feeling that it is to kiss a woman. Right? I'm not saying that the person had a goatee, but I'm saying you can feel it's not the same. And I don't know what I was thinking, guys. I'm always last to get the joke. So I'm wondering where my guest is, because I really want you guys to. She's a sweetheart and a very inspirational story. I'm just wondering where. Here we go. Oh, so she didn't get excuse me, guys. Let me let me play a. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to play a story for you while I get this settled. All right. Listen to this, guys. I'll be right back, guys. Stay there. Studio after work yesterday, and we're in the middle of painting it, and just getting everything ready over there, and so I'm exhausted, right? And so I'm eating dinner and getting ready to go, and DJ Princess is over there, and she's doing a good job. She's painting with Gay Brendan, and so Gay Brendan leaves, and we're cleaning up, getting ready to go, and DJ Princess goes, "Okay, now I have to tell you something." I go, "No, all right." She goes, "Promise you're not going to get mad." I'm like, "Well, when someone tells you promise not to get mad, it's not something you can promise. So, I don't want to mislead anybody. So I say, well, I'll try not to get mad, but I'll try and react appropriately to what you have to tell me." Well, okay. So today I was taking a walk with the dogs. I was at work, and I got back, and my boss, she also took a walk, and she comes back and tells me there's something that you got to see. So I'm like, oh no, what did DJ Princess do? She says, now I don't want you to get mad. I'm like, okay, so we talked about that. Well, apparently there was something on the side of the road, and okay, I'll just tell you. And then she takes her hand and puts it in her hood, and then in her hand is this baby squirrel. Well, you see, he was frozen, and it looks like his mom got run over by a car, and he was in there and he was frozen. So what was I supposed to do? And then I put it together because I saw this Pedialyte, and I said, I'm not mad, Princess. What could you do? Well, he was frozen and he wasn't breathing and he wasn't moving. So I pulled over into a Walmart, and I got him Pedialyte, and I put him in front of the heater for a couple hours, and then he started to open his eyes, and now we're friends. I'm like, oh geez, there's no way you're giving up this squirrel, is there? No, What about Mr. Beekman? What about the cats and the dogs? Well, it's okay. He can go in uh, Milton or Monkey's old cat cage, and I'll put him in the same room as Mr. Beekman. So I'm like, hon, you got a huge heart, and of course you can't leave a squirrel frozen to death, and so I'm not mad. Just I got to see how this progresses because I wouldn't like the bird. Okay, fine. She found the bird, fell out of the nest at like 2 days old, and after she nursed that back to health, you can't release the bird out into the wild because it has no instinct anymore. They expect it's going to be spoiled on a electric blanket being fed all the time. And now the same thing with Mr. Squirrel. He gets fed through a syringe, and already he starts making noise when he's hungry and stuff. So I'm like, all right, this Mr. Squirrel now is a member of the family. All right, so I thought you guys might enjoy that story. Why while I was waiting for our guest. Um, that's a true story that really happened. And Scarlet the squirrel actually came in and lived in the house with us, and she would take the squirrel out and have playtime. Let the squirrel out. It would run up the tree, and after like a half hour, she would say, "Okay, we got to go inside." The squirrel would come down off the tree on top of her shoulder and walk back in the house and go in her cage. I'm not BSing you. That really happened. Scarlet the squirrel, and then there was Mr. Beekman. Did you guys hear that story? Or did you guys not hear it? Anyway, I just reached out to our guest again, and I resent it. So if it don't work, I'm not going to stop and leave you with a nonsense story again. We'll just do it a different day. So I'll start. Okay, so she said she found it, so she'll be in here in a minute. The great Angel Cassidy. All right, so what else is great? I got Gina Bobina hanging out. I got Kevin Lawler. I got Top Rock Red Bird. I got some birds. Danny Bonaducci and okay. So Redbird, you heard about the squirrel. You heard the story. True story, man. I wasn't lying. Kevin's like, what the hell are you talking about, Casey? Talking about a squirrel. Siobhan, where I live. Sorry, I'll let you guys in on the joke here. Hold on. Where I live on the Isle of Wight, we can only have red squirrels here. Gray ones are banned as they kill all of our reds. Is that true? That's racist. They're doing a racist, Siobhan. Top Rock likes my story. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Thank you, Top Rock. Yeah, but well, who's deciding that the Redbirds are better are better than the gray squirrels? I don't know. We'll find out. But okay, let me just go over next week too. Next week I got Husey. I think I'm saying it right. He's that Irish gentleman who is in the Dabbleverse that we all like. I like him a lot because it seems like he's just a guy that you like to sit next to at the pub. Normal guy. Just shoot the crap with him. Real kind, and he's got a kind of a dry sense of humor. I like him. I've seen him. Um, and going back to the squirrels, Siobhan says it's true that government banned them only on our island. They get sent back to the mainland England to protect our red squirrels. This I know nothing about, guys. I don't know. I don't know. But so Friday we're okay. Are you guys going to Pottstown in Pennsylvania? Because I am going on Saturday. I believe I am going with Anthony Cumia and my friend Mike and my brother. And we're going to leave on Saturday. I believe what happens is first there is a Uncle Rico show where they're gonna kind of just flip in different guests and stuff like that, and then there's like a meet and greet. There's a meet and greet, and then after that is the comedy show. And I was wondering, like, how I should play this with the stand up show. I think because I know who it is, like it's you guys, and you guys kind of want to hear the the nonsense, the dirty stuff. Because here I am thinking I haven't been on stage in about 5 years. You know, like I I'm worried about this woke. I'm worried about the jokes that I think are funny. I'm wondering if they're going to go over. But I keep reminding myself, I'm with you guys. We like the same stuff. We're doing this because we're cut from the same loins. We have the same sense of humor. If not, you wouldn't be here. So I'm going to be as dirty as I always was. Yeah, that's what I thought, obnoxious John. So if I got to give out a couple, you know what I hate? Like I can give you one. Like I was thinking that this, might be a little too juvenile, but I used to use it all the time, and I think it's funny. Not anymore because I've done it for 25 years. But you know what I hate? I hate when I dream I'm eating my grandmother's homemade chocolate pudding, and I wake up with a spoon in her diaper. I butchered it. Sorry. See. Um, you know what I hate? I hate when I just get done taking a big, hot, sweaty shit and I gotta bite my fingernails. Nonsense. Complete nonsense. Or you know what I hate? I hate when I'm getting something to drink and then the toilet seat hits me in the head. Stuff like that. Those are just off the top of my head. Am I going to go to the Shuli network? No, no, Gonzo. I love Shuli. He's awesome. I'm just going to do my own thing. Like I was telling everybody before, I got um, I got all the prerequisites. So now I can do what I want. Now I can do the shows that I want. I can play videos and stuff like that. So you're stuck with me. Hopefully you'll come back and check it out because I got tapes I want to play for you. I got a bunch of stuff. If you guys are worried, wondering about what this picture is in back of me, no, that kid is not some sort of young male model. But I give up. on that. He's not a young male model or nutritionist, as you see. Look at this Apple Jacks. Look at this Apple Jacks box. Look at how old it is. Look, you guys are probably too young. This is like this is what the 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 one sizers. You remember you used to get like the 12 pack of Frosted Flakes, Apple Jacks, Corn Pops, Fruit Loops, or whatever. But this is at Stroudsburg Wrestling Camp. And what's on my shirt? I don't know. But this was at Stroudsburg Wrestling Camp. This is where I grew up. Um, my parents ran a wrestling camp every summer. Look at this guy's wearing a singlet right here. Look at this guy, dirtbag. Because the pool was over here. This is where the video games were. The basketball court. My old man told me I wasn't allowed in there. But the pool was out here. People would go swimming in a singlet. Do you guys know what a singlet is and how silly a singlet is? What it looks like? And this was, I guess, she was just one of the many in my arsenal back then. I think that's Ginger. Yeah, I think she was my Tuesday or Wednesday. Totally kidding. I am totally kidding. She was a kid my age who probably liked Apple Jacks too. And that's how I find my dates these days. And look at him back there. That's Coach. He's a dummy. Maybe I'll show you. I'll put him in some moves later. Um, but okay, so Pottstown. I'm going to go on Saturday, and the meet and greet. The meet and greet should be cool. So I get to meet you guys. 1982. Cartman, probably 79. God damn it! I'm not going to yell at my cats anymore. Because as I told you, I just got a new calico cat. I rescued the calico cat. Was walking around, had frostbite on her tail after she got run over by a car, broken pelvis, so they had to amputate her tail. She's had it kind of rough. The person that owned her wanted to euthanize her rather than pay the money. So the money got paid $6,000. And now little Naya is having the best time of her life. She fell asleep on my chest the second night she was here. And in the morning, I wake up and little Naya runs over and she's doing the cat rub thing on my legs and just follows me around when I'm home. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I used to run this place, and I no longer run Catropolis. I had a big sign for $400 made because I'm so sick. A big sign that says Catropolis, and there's like a shed out there that's broken down. I can't get rid of it because it has gas and it's on my property. It looks like crap, but I have to keep it there. So what I did was there was a bunch of feral cats around here. So what I did was I filled it with hay and kind of patched up what I could patch up, and I always had food and air and water. So that became Catropolis. And there were 12 feral cats, and I'm happy to say that 11 of those cats I caught them, put them in a cage. I got them spayed or neutered, and I found homes with the help of someone else for all 11. And now there are no more feral cats around my office and where I live. And you know who lives in Catropolis now? Peter Possum. Peter Possum and Rick the Raccoon. And there's a gopher. His name is Greg. So that's who lives over there. No more cats. So that's what's going on there. All right. I'm going to take a couple questions from you guys. Mainly, I just want to thank you guys so much for getting me where I had to go. So now I got this channel. I was just vamping this whole show because my guest didn't show up. I don't know what's going on there, but we'll rebook Angel Cassidy. She's a great guest, but we will rebook her. Tomorrow is Casey and the coach. So let me take some of your questions, and I hope to see you guys in Pottsville. I just booked the hotel for Saturday. Like I said, I'm coming up with Anthony Cumia, my friend Mike. That's the guy that played poker with John, and my big brother Matt. So we get to meet them too. Let's see what Siobhan has to say. And guys, we're getting there. You got me there. So now it's up to me to put on a good show. Don't go by this. This was kind of a calling an audible here because my guest didn't show up. So Siobhan says, that's good, man. I have a seagull that taps my front door with his beak. She calls him Steven. Siobhan, that's awesome of you. And that leads me to tell you about Mr. Beekman. When I lived in East Moriches, where there's if you look at John's, and by the way, I would invite you to watch last night's show. It says Casey goes off on John and thanks the fans, something like that. And it's a picture of me on the dock while my boat sinks. I got into this thing where I wanted a boat, but I sunk 3 of them. I'm so horrible and retarded. I sunk 3 boats. So you see one of them underwater, and I'm standing there waving like a dork. I'll tell you those stories in a little bit. But we were walking out one day, and then there was a nest right above the door, fell down, and these birds must have just been born. So it's just this tiny little bird laying on the stoop, and no one can get it. They think it's dead. So the princess at the time was my ex. She picks up the bird, and you won't believe it, nurses it back to health by getting a syringe and finding earthworms, mashing the earthworms up into a paste that you can push through the needle, not the needle, the syringe. So the bird, it was just like, you know, when a bird is looking for its mother and it starts squawking and open it in its mouth. Every time my ex would come by, that's what you would hear until the bird, Mr. Beekman, got fed the mashed up earthworms, which was so gross. But make a long story short, Mr. Beekman made a full recovery, developed a talent for singing to the oldies. Like Mr. Beekman liked to sing along with the oldies. That's what this bird would do all day. It cost me like $350 for a cage. Just want to say that. Oh, and the squirrel's cage, it's another $650. Look at me. I'm being such a nitpicking jerk, but look, animals aren't cheap, guys. And we used to have 6 or 7 cats, 3 dogs. You know, they don't make group insurance for animals. When one of them gets sick, you're paying $4,000 or $5,000. I can only imagine what it's like having kids, you know? But I really appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with me. Sorry you missed Angel tonight, but I'll get her back on. Tomorrow is Casey and the coach. So please feel free to write in. And I want to thank the people who sent me my first super chats. And I know you guys are looking at this handsome gentleman, this guy. See, there was a time where everyone might have been not ugly. You know, life didn't beat them up so badly. They still had some innocence. Look at this. You see some innocence in this guy? He's like, you know, I'm going to go play with a frog, or Mr. Beekman, I'm going to wear this horrible shirt. I'm going to eat Apple Jacks. I'm going to hang out with one of my no, I didn't mean that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm going to hang out with, I was going to say floozy. I'm making a joke, like turning it into an adult thing. No, I'm going to hang out with this nice young lady. You know, maybe I'm courting her at the time. Maybe we're going to go roller skating. You know, maybe we might be playing house. Perhaps we might go to a swingers club. You never know. Back then, life was just out. You didn't know. You could be doing something you never thought you'd be doing. And that's why I'm pretty happy that you guys got me here, because I can't wait for you to see some of the shows and the ideas for shows that I got. For instance, I got one. Siobhan Bowling, yeah. Matt's 52 and he still eats Apple Jacks. Good man. One of the shows that I was going to do is, I don't know how the government works. I don't think you know how the government works. If you do, you're smarter than me and you've paid attention in school. I didn't. I don't do politics. I don't talk about politics. Don't want to divide people. I want to be everyone's friend. But if I showed you this one video I got, it's going to be an entire show. It should be on next week. I will prove to you that no one, Republican, Democrat, whatever it may be, none of them know what the fuck they're doing. I have this one tape, and I saved it, where one person saying, I'm bringing up a motion, and someone else says, no, your time has expired. And then someone else says, no, but when you bring up a motion, you can add on time. And then someone else says, no, well, you already went 15 seconds past. And then someone's like, 2 months ago, you went over by 10 seconds. I don't think it's right. And then someone else says, well, we need to go back to that tape. Guys, they wasted an hour because they didn't know the fucking rules. I swear to you, you're going to laugh your balls off. I was just laughing. I was like, are you kidding me? These people, they're like, I don't think he can do that. And then someone with a deep voice, well, please, will someone go and check the articles to see if that is possible, what Congresswoman or gentlewoman is trying to do. Over and over for an hour. You guys will be disgusted, but you'll laugh your ass off, because they're all fighting, and they're fighting because they don't know the fucking rules. So it'll be funny. All right, guys. Hey, there's Corn Diff. Whee! You guys are awesome. I love you, Gina Bobinas. Corn, Tubby. I would encourage you guys to listen to Radio Gunk tonight. Great show. Always entertains me. And we're going to reschedule Miss Angel Cassidy, who's great. All right. So we are going to get out of here for now. But tomorrow, it's 8 or 9. I have to look it up. Casey and the coach. Love to see you guys there. And again, I want to thank everybody for spending time with me. And we got good stuff coming up, all right? So I can't wait to see you guys again. Thanks a lot. I'll see you tomorrow night.
I'm born at St. Charles, North Shore, East Side, Setauket, Stony Brook, Oldfield, Brandywine, Bremen, Legis, y'all know who Deadly is. Blew up the scene like Tom Cruise in Risky Business, but no, I'm not or a Scientologist. I'm just a lyricist, chemist, mad scientist, meth lab, chlorine bombs, THC,